everyone. I'm Laura Kelly and I'm running for Vice President Academic of MedSoc. You can see my nominators are Bryn Bird, ex-President of MedSoc, and Matt Govier, ex-Chair of the Cork Curriculum and Welfare Committee. So, first of all, you probably want to know why I think I'd make a good VPA. So I'm going to give you a few examples of the roles I've taken up over the past 2 years in Birmingham, and perhaps show you why I would be good as VPA. For over a year now, I've been the Guild's representative for student misconduct and fitness to practice panels. This carries a significant level of responsibility. Not only do I have to ensure that all panels are carried out equally and fairly for all students that go through this difficult and traumatic process, I also carry a vote as to whether a claim should be upheld or dismissed against the student. And I also am involved in the vote as to what measure should be taken against the student. This can range from one extreme, nothing being done against the student, to at the other extreme, the life-changing decision to actually ask someone to withdraw from a course with no qualification. So I regularly deal with decisions that are difficult, and I'm used to making these kind of decisions. Also, Nikki Clark has asked this year that the next president improves the relations we have with Guild. These have traditionally been perhaps a bit patchy and not as strong as they should be. And now, my links with Guild in this role mean that whoever becomes president will find me an invaluable tool in helping to strengthen these relations. I've also been involved in the development and production of the booklet, MedSoc, A Guide to the First Year. This was my idea that I took to Cork and they approved. I also went to Kate Thomas and asked her to give her approval to the scheme, which she did. And I also met with her along with Nikki and the Cork Welfare Rep to discuss the finer points of the booklet. I surveyed my year group to ask what they wanted to be in this book, and I actually wrote a lot of the articles for the medicine section. I also deputised for our Year 1 academic rep, Kun. He actually asked this at his request that I would come along and help him. When he was unable to attend Cork and MedSoc meetings, I would go in his stead. So I know what this role of academic rep entails, and also know how Cork and MedSoc work, so I can provide the continuity that it will need between Vice Chair and VPA. I've already established a good working relationship with all the presidential candidates, so whoever becomes president, I know I will work well with them and get along with them. I work with Jake in the booklet, I deputise for Kun at his request, and Jess has actually offered to support me next year in the new role of VPA, so I know I will work well with all presidents. My aims. This is Mary's idea of open access to the pro-sectorium. I feel we still need timetabled sessions in the pro-sectorium to ensure that no one misses out on access to this excellent facility. But when it's not being used, it should be available on a drop-in basis. I actually want to mirror the example of the Human Anatomy Resources Centre at Liverpool. Here it's a combination of some plastic specimens, cadaveric specimens, and also workbooks that people can work through to identify structures and landmarks that they should be learning about in the pro-sectorium. Obviously, we can't take textbooks into the pro-sectorium, so I think to help direct the drop-in sessions a lot more than just people wandering around aimlessly. I also want to increase the scope of revision sessions. At the moment, they are solely focused on anatomy, and I'd like to look at what subjects people are finding difficult and complex, and provide revision sessions for these. I also want to provide revision sessions for other courses under the umbrella of NAPSOC. I've actually contacted NAPSOC, and they think it's a great idea that they would like to have more control over for nurses and physios. Also the clinical skills evening proposal by the VMI. VPA would actually be in charge of extracurricular academic events. So although currently it's the president, Nikki, that's engaged with the VMI to ask for these clinical skills evenings, I would be fully prepared to take this over next year, as I think it would enhance clinical skills training. And finally, peer-to-peer learning. We produce a lot of presentations during our time at medical school, and often these are forgotten and never looked at again. I think we could use the MedSoc website to ensure that these are all placed in a bank of presentations on MedSoc. So let's say when we do a PDL and there are 4 options, we don't just learn about option 1 or option 2, we get the chance to actually learn about all of them so that our medical learning is complete and not patchy. I've also contacted various people who want there to be a greater input of biomedical sciences on the committee of MedSoc in an academic way. Although this is something I'm not too focused on saying, already sit on MedSoc, and again I've told biomedical scientists that I will look into this. Finally, if you don't get to ask me any questions this afternoon, or you think of some afterwards, please contact me on my email. I am more than happy to discuss any of my ideas.